Paul, the big question we want to know is President Obama's small business lending bill. I don't need to know the nuts and bolts. I know we came out yesterday with our 60th senator, we think. What do you think, and how do you think it's going to impact lenders in 2011?
Well, thank you, Bob. This is probably one of the most critical pieces of legislation that the Senate will address immediately upon its return. If you remember, the House has already passed the small business lending bill, H.R. 5297 now. A while back, the President had launched this way back in January in a State of the Union address, and now it's all boiled down to a vote in the Senate and getting cloture, which means you need to get 60 votes. And the small business lending bill, when it was separated out as a single amendment, did receive 60 votes. So
right.
I'm very confident now that on September 13th or 14th, there'll be a vote in the Senate on H.R. 5297, which has the $30 billion small business lending fund and a large number of very good SBA lending incentives that are extended and expanded. SBA lending incentives, and it will be close, but it appears to have the 60 votes with Senator George Voinovich of Ohio indicating that he would vote in favor of this legislation. So it's not certain, but it will be one of the first things that the Senate takes up upon.
Yeah, well, that certainly sounds like good news. And one of the things I've harped upon, as you explained it to me, is this really is revenue neutral, and so that's one of the reasons why we're optimistic that it's going to pass. Is that correct?
Well, right. Everyone is operating in a pay-as-you-go environment now, where any new legislation or new initiatives, because of the large deficit, there's almost certainty that you'll have to offset or pay for any legislation. This bill is fully paid for. As a matter of fact, the Congressional Budget Office actually scored the $30 billion small business lending bill as actually raising a little over $1 billion after 10 years because of the funds that the banks pay back to the Treasury after using that to increase small business lending will actually increase the federal budget slightly.
Paul, let's talk specifics. Are we going to have a $5 million SBA 7A loan?
Well, that's what's in the Senate bill. So the one thing I should mention here is that even though this legislation has already passed the House and now there's a vote pending in the Senate, the two bills have many differences, and one of those differences is the SBA lending limit amount of $3 million versus $5 million from the House and Senate bill. So if the House votes on the Senate bill, the House will have to vote on this bill. If the House votes just to accept the Senate bill, you could easily have a $5 million 7A loan size increase. But the House has actually indicated that they're not certain whether they want to make changes to the bill or want to conference the bill, or which would be from a legislative calendar perspective kind of unfortunate, because there's only a very few weeks left of time to get any legislation passed. So the best outcome probably would be for the Senate to pass this bill quickly, and the House being forced to vote and accept the Senate bill as well. It would be very troublesome to have a very long conference, or any type of dispute between the House and Senate may trip up the whole bill.